Can't afford food? Well, it's getting there. And it's getting there, and we've been warning about this. And it's been a build-up over the years with historically low interest rates and people house broke and investing all their money in a home instead of looking out for other things of importance, like food. Well, car insurance too was kind of important, but food. And people overlook the fact that the price of food is going to skyrocket and go up, and governments won't do that to us. Well, the governments are regulating everything. Governments are regulating our logistics, our transport. They're taking everything over. They're going to federalize everything. Anyways, I've been getting a lot of emails lately of people telling me, Mike, you should be talking about the price of food. You should be warning people to start stocking up on food. You should be, navigating your channel towards, helping more people. Well, here's the thing. We've been warning people for over a decade now on what's going to happen. Because I'm a nobody, and that's fine, no worries, the message never got out. So here we go here, guys. Food prices out of control. At this rate, people can afford food by 2020, 8 years ago. And we said, what else did we say here? Food prices spiking in a city near you. They can't hide the inflation. People to starve by 2022. Food has surpassed my rent. Price of oil dropped, but food prices go up. They can't handle inflation anymore. I call it foodflation. 7 years ago. So I've been warning people about this. Canadians say it's getting harder for their families to afford food. Inflation in food price hidden. So how do we get here? Well, we got here artificially, astronomically, Frankenstein, in historically low interest rates. We created this Frankenstein monster. We made a video about that we can't control now. And instead of raising interest rates back in 2017 and 2018, which they decided to do, people started defaulting. What happened? 2019 with the repo markets and banks not having confidence in each other. In 2019, the world was protesting, no confidence in governments anymore. Well, what do? They pull the trigger on the pandemic. We know this already. So this is basically a lineup of how we got here. I got a good video explaining that for you guys. This is what's happening here now. We got this in the news, in the Canadian news here, reporting Canada's inflation rate slows, but grocery prices and mortgage interest costs continue to rise. Yeah, of course. So for the first time in a year, Canada's inflation rate slowed under 6%. I don't believe that. I actually believe it's like 14 to 18% or 22% when you want to factor in housing. Last month, coming in at 5.9% according to Stats Canada. So if you add housing or basic housing in, calculating inflation, you'll see it's over 20%. It follows a 6.3% inflation rate in December and falls between 6.2%. So nobody cares. So there it is right there. They're saying that rates are going up, but mortgage interest costs rise and the price of food and grocery prices and mortgage interest rates costs rise. So it's still going up and it's still going to go up. So what are we talking? So here's a prediction I want to throw out there, guys. We made this video about a year and change ago. It was on December 20, 2021. Food price tracking systems keeping families fed. Guys, about the Fed program that's going to come out. Fed, like feeding families type of thing. What they want to do is they want to actually track what you're buying, how much you're buying for your household, how many people are in your household. And this is what they want to do, when rolling out the digital currency and blah, 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 and tracking what you could buy and shutting off and doing certain things. Well, they want to start this Fed program, and they've been working on this now since 2016 to prevent people from hoarding or people buying more food than they should. So I'm telling you, they're going to federalize everything, all right? Everything will become federalized. So there it is right there. Now, let me throw this out here. Now, there it is where we've been telling people interest rates are headed to 9% by 2022. Must watch or inflation will creep up. My opinion, interest rates needs to slowly creep up to 9 to 11% by the end of 2022. Guess what, people? Look, people won't be able to buy food. Yes, people will be priced out of food. Most economies and bankers, there it is right there. But unfortunately, because nobody watches my videos over the last 10 years, There's some people, but I'm saying because nobody, because I'm not a big personality or someone that means anything, what I say means nothing too, right? So that that falls into place. This, guys, and we said it through real estate too. And death of the big city by 2020. Major cities unaffordable across Western countries minus red states 6 years ago. Western economies dangerously dependent on real estate. Not enough private sector jobs. 6 years ago. So, prediction for this show, at the end of this show, is by 2030, by 2030, all food will be governed by government. Governments will control all imports, all food imports. And they're going to remove labels on food labels to tell you what country the food came from. Because Canadian government's been working hard to remove the labels of where your food comes from. So what they're going to do is, I think what they're going to do is, there's going to be no label recognition of what country or food place of origin your food's coming from. That's number one. Number two, they're going to do that FED program, where you don't buy more food than you need. Number three, they're going to federalize all the big box food stores. And we've been talking about this on here for a long time. Very vocal about federalization. And the governments will just... You'll have these big white walls in your store and all these white and red writing saying, trust your government. And everything will have it be in white boxes, macaroni and cheese from your government. And trust your government loves you. And it's going to be all white packaging everywhere as far as the eye can see. And government workers will be working at food places now because the private sector will be taxed to death. So why would the private corporations leave Canada, Mike? Well, it's getting too expensive. You're seeing what happens with Target and other places, that it's just not worth running a business in Canada anymore because it's just so damn expensive, right? And they're purposely doing this, right? A lot of people want in Canada, a lot of people want the socialism, but they don't want to pay the fees acquired to running it, right? So I'm 100% conservative, Catholic, the whole 9 yards, and I'm about building my way, making my way, teaching my kids to become productive, to work towards a goal, and to be something on this rock. Anyways, guys, that's what I think of food. Those are my predictions of food. 2030, food will be completely... to go buy a bag of chips or something, you would have to squirrel away money to have a couple of oranges for Christmas, like they did in the pioneer days. I have a feeling that it's going to be, by 2030, food's going to be completely off of, they're coming for that. They're coming for our food. And then they're going to say, then the governments are going to blame the corporations for raising the prices on their food and being greedy when it's the governments that are doing it and taxing the corporations to death. Keep that one in mind too. They're going to raise the cost of doing business in Canada to force the corporations out. And then the governments will step in and say, look, we'll save you. And the governments in all means don't save anybody. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.